Hi everyone, it's Anne from Reading Tarot with Anne. Back again with another tarot reading, general tarot reading, please. And this is just for entertainment, just to get our minds off of everything that's been going on with COVID-19. I know that things are starting to look get a lot more serious, particularly here in Ontario, with the government wanting to shut down non-essential services. Me as a dog walker, I don't know what that means because that's how I pay my bills. As far as I know, I at least have tomorrow to walk, so I'm gonna be talking with my personally with my clients if they still want me coming. I hope they do. Anyways, here I've got my tarot cards ready from the Golden Tarot deck. So let's just see how things are going. This is general and not necessarily specifically for Toronto or for the province of Ontario here in Canada necessarily, but this is just an overall general reading for everyone that wants to know what's going on with COVID-19 or this basically coronavirus. And I can tell you right now, somebody who lived in Toronto during the SARS crisis of 2003, this is a hell of a lot worse. Trust me, I was living in Toronto at the time, working in a restaurant here in Toronto, down at Toronto's Eaton Centre downtown, which is one of the major um, tourist attraction malls here in Toronto. Is one of the biggest malls we have here in the city. And then we also, I think SARS, I think cleared up by May of 2003. Then we had the SARS concert, which was hosted by the Rolling Stones. Then in August, mid-August of that same year, we had the blackout, which affected the eastern seaboard of all of North America, which was Canada and the United States. I believe it may have affected the eastern seaboard of Mexico as well. So don't quote me because I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely affected the eastern seaboard of Canada and the United States. But this is honestly, guys, this is a lot worse. So, anyways, we're gonna get the reading started. So, this is basically the first question: is what does the universe want us to know about this recent developments in the COVID-19 pandemic? What does the universe want us to know about the latest developments in the COVID-19 pandemic? All right. Oops. All right. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm going to spread the cards out and pull 3 cards for this first question. All right. So the first card is the 3 of Cups. Second is the Nine of Wands, and the third and final card is the 3 of Wands. Okay. So basically, I like these cards overall. First things first is the 3 of Cups is about friendship. So I can see us working together with this cup. It's about with the 3 of Cups. It's friends working with friends, family working with family to get through this, supporting us, that kind of thing. Um, and they're definitely looking back on the past, or bruised and beaten, but not hurt. Okay, so they're looking back at other um, issues, breakouts, such as the swine flu. I think that was about maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. I can't remember. The SARS crisis, which breakout was 17 years ago now. So they've learned from the looking back on the past. They've learned a lot, especially here in Toronto, where they've learned so much from SARS, where it was contained. For those who don't know, it was actually really well contained here in Ontario, specifically Toronto, where it was contained to the hospitals, and that's what or wasn't getting out to the general public outside of Ontario at the time that it was. They did actually, from what I can remember, a really excellent job containing SARS to the hospitals and screening everybody as they came in and out. But I don't think SARS was as contagious as COVID-19. This is definitely a lot more serious. And with the Three of Wands, it's basically they're putting in together packages and projects and plans in place to help with what's going on here. And now, at least with the Ontario and Toronto, with the Ontario government and the Toronto City Hall and City Hall. Toronto, I just found out Toronto just recently declared a state of emergency, and Ontario wants to shut down on non-essential services, but they're doing what is needed to protect the general public from the COVID-19. So I think it's just, they don't want we don't want, I think it has to do with the fact that Ontario doesn't want to end up like what's going on in Italy or what happened in China or anything like that. I know that's getting out of control in the United States. From what I understand, I haven't been following the updates about what's going on in the United States because it doesn't directly affect me. What's going on will affect me is what's going on here in Toronto and in Ontario. But we're gonna get ahead of this. So I like these cards. These are good cards. So I am generally feeling optimistic about what's going on. The last thing we need to do is get to the point where someone like me who's a dog walker is forced not to work because, I think I just might be just recently being forced to completely shut down for the next 2 weeks. But I'm gonna talk to my clients about that and see what they want, if they want me coming or not. I'll leave it up to them. But don't get me wrong, I am willing to come if they do absolutely need me. But I'm just gonna put these back and I'll do a general reading, pull some cards for the short-term implications of what's going on with COVID-19. What does the universe want us to know about the short-term implications of COVID-19? What does the universe want us to know about the short-term implications of COVID-19? All right, let's see what comes up. And please just keep in mind, this is my own personal interpretation of the cards. If you're getting something different from the cards, that's okay. Take it. This is why I'm showing the cards to the camera. So interpret the cards the way you'd personally feel comfortable with. Don't take my word for it. It's just my interpretation. The cards are always right. I'm only human. Okay, and every person who does tarot reads will read the same spread very differently. So just keep that in mind. So what does the universe want to know about this? Want us to know about the short-term complications of COVID-19? Card 1, card 2 is card 2, one more card. All right. Okay, card number 3. First card is, oh good, the Wheel of Fortune. The next card is the High Priestess, which is also good. And the Page of Wands. Okay. First glance, things are going to be turning around for us, for good, depending on your interpretation, for good or for bad. My sense is things are going to turn out around for the better. Things are going to probably seem worse, at least in the short term, anyways. But I think things will work out for us in the long run. We just have to buckle down and fight this COVID-19 issue. The High Priestess is basically a spiritual teacher she's basically telling us we know what we need to do, which is protect ourselves, which means protecting the general public. Means if you have an elderly grandparent or grandparent or parent that's getting or parents getting up in the stage, even elderly grandparents. If you normally see them in person, I highly recommend call them. Keep in touch. The same with friends and family. The page of wands is pages, like I said before, are messengers. With definitely a lot of hard work. Work ahead. Definitely news of aspiring news is definitely coming up. Maybe you guys might be people out there wanting to start projects around the house. So it's saying basically the page of wands is saying will be some inspiring news coming up. If there's projects you want to do around the house or online projects you want to do, by all means go do them. So basically, yeah, so things are going to be tough for hopefully for the short term, but I do feel like things are going to be turning around in sooner rather than later. This is, I think, probably part of the reason why things are getting tougher. And by the way, the Queen of Coins kind of dropped out, which is got to be good with your money, good with business, things that coins or pentacles, depending on what deck you're on, they're about money, business, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. All right. So hold up, hang tight. If we'll get through this, we'll be okay. Trust me. And I'm also going to be doing some videos on pentacle readings as well soon. This is my pentacles pendulum readings as well. I'll be doing that maybe later this week. All right, so this basically will be yes and no questions. All right, so hang tough and be safe. If you want a reading from me, I'll leave my email address in the description below, as well as if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I'll leave that information in the description below. Thank you and be safe.